Was Corey reported missing before her remains were found?
No, she had not been reported missing.
Her hyoid bone was broken, which is consistent with strangulation.
We just all sat there in shock.
Everyone knew her. She was very gregarious, outgoing.
She's the most beautiful person I've ever come across.
A young 28-year-old who just had her whole life ahead of her.
Did you ever fear the case might grow cold?
There was that fear that it was going to turn cold at any point.
This is the kind of thing that when they tell you be careful, walk with a friend.
Hi, I'm Nancy O'Dell. Today's Crime Expose takes us to the San Bernardino Mountains of Southern California. An area known for its majestic scenery became the unlikely setting for a tragic mystery when an unidentified body was discovered on the edge of a steep ravine. Detectives spent months following confusing clues before an unexpected lead would take them straight to the killer's doorstep. It was 2:20 in the afternoon on February 16th when the San Bernardino Sheriff's Department was notified of a gruesome discovery on the highway.
Somebody that was going south or downbound from the mountain had pulled over, and when they did, they saw feet protruding from a trash bag on the side of the hill.
First responders and sheriff's detectives raced to the scene, but the rainy weather was making it difficult to process any evidence.
And when we first arrived, I could see tire impressions in the turnout, and they quickly started disappearing from the rain. From the very beginning, it was frustrating because I knew that we were losing evidence because of the weather.
Despite treacherous conditions, detectives determined the victim had been murdered elsewhere.
It appeared from the exterior that this would be considered a body dump where the crime may have occurred somewhere else. The victim was transported there and dumped.
As investigators considered how best to preserve what little evidence was left, they knew they had to act fast.
The remains were on a slope, and there was water gushing over them, and our concern was that they were going to slide further down and then eventually drop potentially 1,000 feet below into the wilderness areas.
So the first thing we did was call the coroner and had the body removed. We transported her to the coroner's office so we could remove the trash bags in a controlled environment and preserve any evidence that may be there.
Fingerprints made it possible to identify the homicide victim as 28-year-old Corey Desmond. Was Corey reported missing before her remains were found?
No, she had not been reported missing. That's one of the first things we checked, and she had no criminal record that we could determine. So we were essentially kind of dumbfounded with what we had on our hands here.
Corey lived 80 miles away from the San Bernardino Mountains in Redondo Beach.
It started as obviously a mystery. Why was this young woman from 80, 90 miles away, beach community, why was her body found in the way it was found in the San Bernardino Mountains?
Autopsy results showed Corey had been strangled to death.
She had some cuts in her mouth, consistent with somebody maybe smothering her. Her hyoid bone was broken, which is consistent with strangulation. And I believe there was petechiae in the eyes, also consistent with strangulation.
There was also evidence suggesting she had been sexually assaulted.
Corey's pants were down past her knees. The pants were unclasped. The zipper was undone. So that's why we believe that there was evidence of sexual assault.
But the rain had washed away any physical evidence. Investigators knew the next steps would be the most taxing, making the 80-mile drive to Redondo Beach to give Corey's loved ones the devastating news.
Corey's dad was just in shock, as any father would be. You just learned that your 28-year-old daughter was murdered and left like a piece of trash on the side of a highway. So he was shocked and angry, extremely upset, wanted answers. And I can remember he had told me he was not going to let his daughter's case go cold.
She was walking west from Artesia away from Back Street, and the video I saw, she appeared steady on her feet.
News of Corey Desmond's murder sent shockwaves through the tight-knit Redondo Beach community.
I'll never forget the day it happened. It just destroyed everybody, honestly. It crushed the entire South Bay.
It had really shaken that community because everyone knew her. She was a bartender. She was very gregarious, outgoing, and it obviously shook some people that this young woman could be killed in this way. And really, at the beginning, they had no idea what had happened to her.
We just all sat there in shock.
Her senseless murder seemed unimaginable to those who knew her.
I think she's the most beautiful person I've ever come across. She had a lot that she wanted to do. She wanted to better herself, better everyone else, and we'll just miss that.
Detectives hit the streets of Redondo Beach to learn more about Corey's whereabouts before her murder.
We're looking at the bars, we're looking at the restaurant she worked at. We're asking the Redondo Beach Police Department to assist us because it's not our jurisdictions.
Investigators got their first big lead when Corey's Jeep was spotted on McKay Avenue in Redondo Beach.
It was parked near a storm drain. We towed it, brought it back to San Bernardino County, and had it processed with forensic examinations. And there was no sign of a crime occurring in the Jeep.
Corey was last seen by friends on Valentine's Day, February 14th.
She was at work at the restaurant, bartending. And it was shortly after about 9:00 p.m. She left the bar and mentioned to some people that she was possibly going to go meet some other individuals at another bar, which was called the Back Street Lounge in Redondo Beach.
Detectives learned Corey had been at Back Street Lounge until closing, and she was seen arguing with a man.
What we found out was this individual was apparently being rude to somebody else. She decided to step in and give her 2 cents. And it was a brief interaction. They're having a disagreement, nothing of extreme, but they're having a disagreement, enough for people to notice.
The lead seemed even more promising when investigators learned the man lived across the street from the bar.
It was a little concerning for us because he had left before Corey. So the first question is, well, if this individual left before her, could he have found her out there on the street?
Detectives obtained a search warrant for the man's home and questioned him at length.
He was able to tell us where he was, and it was confirmed through other witnesses that he was in fact not involved in her disappearance.
Security cameras in the area offered more promising clues when Corey was captured leaving the bar around 2:24 a.m.
She was walking west away from Back Street, and her gait was fine. She appeared steady on her feet. She wasn't staggering.
As detectives studied the grainy footage for clues, they noticed a yellow cab passing Corey and then pulling to the curb.
And so we initially think, oh, well, maybe she just got a cab. So then we start digging into that.
It was another dead end for investigators.
It was quite frustrating because that was the last time we got her on camera, was walking past that area, and then she just disappeared. We had nothing more further to add to that.
Investigators caught a break when a friend of Corey's offered them another important lead. She said Corey had made plans to see her at work at another local bar called Bogey's, but Corey never made it.
The bars had closed at 2 a.m. and they're not allowed to allow customers in. She asked if she could go in and use the restroom, and they wouldn't allow her in. That's the last time that anybody that knew Corey saw her or heard her alive.
With nowhere else to go, investigators turned to the public for help.
It was very publicized, and the news crews were all over Manhattan Beach, Redondo Beach, interviewing people.
Did you ever fear the case might grow cold?
After several months, there was that fear that it was going to turn cold at any point. The thing that kept it alive was Corey's father. He had a billboard established right there on Artesia Boulevard. So everybody had pretty much look at that every time they drove past.
50 billboards offering reward money were put up throughout the South Bay area. Thousands of bumper stickers were distributed.
They were on a manhunt, and the community pushed. We all pushed, all our friends and everybody.
So as a result, did police receive any new tips that would help with the case?
I received word that a female, at the time was unknown, had called in a tip saying that she believed that an individual by the name of Tony Perez from the beach area was involved in Corey's murder. The problem was they never left a callback number.
So a stranger held the key to solving the case. Corey Desmond's murder case was going nowhere when an anonymous tip from a woman came in claiming a man named Tony Perez might be involved in the brutal crime.
We tried to identify Tony Perez, which is a very common name in Southern California. Without a better approximate age or something, a city, we couldn't narrow it down. There was just too many.
The caller did not leave any contact information, so investigators pursued other leads.
Then, several months later, we received another call from a female.
I spoke to her. She was scared. She didn't know if she was doing the right thing. She was making an accusation about her live-in boyfriend, who was also the father of her child.
Detective Newport made arrangements to meet her in person.
She was very distraught, looking over her shoulder, continuously asking me if she was doing the right thing.
She said Perez had been behaving strangely. She could time his odd behavior to the night Corey disappeared.
On the night of Valentine's Day, Tony Perez did not come home until early hours in the morning. He was supposed to come home earlier in the evening. He didn't.
Perez made it home at 4:30 a.m. the next day.
A few days later, this Tony Perez was cleaning his vehicle, which he had never done before. He's cleaning out the interior portions of the vehicle, and she is witnessing this, and she's realizing that something's just not right.
And then after that, he called her up one day and says, "Hey, I traded in the Durango." And she thought that was highly unusual because the Durango only had 3 more months worth of payments on it and it would have been paid off. And then he bought a used white Ford Excursion, and she said, the cars appeared similar. They were white SUVs. And she thought, why would he trade in the car like that?
And Perez's behavior only became more suspect.
She said that he told her, "Hey, let's take the kid out of school and let's go up to the mountains in the snow." While en route, he pointed out a turnout and told her that he thought that that's where they had found that girl that was killed in Redondo Beach. And she thought, wow, that's kind of weird that he would know where that turnout is.
Through researching Perez's records, detectives were able to track down the 35-year-old's car.
The vehicle was traded in a car dealership and then was resold to an individual in the beach area. We were able to obtain a search warrant. We made contact with that person that owned the Durango, and we had the vehicle towed to the crime lab for processing.
Did you find any incriminating evidence in the car?
Yes, once we conducted that test in darkness and utilized the ultraviolet light, we noticed that there were 2 large areas on the passenger side floorboard that had lit up.
The test results indicated the possible presence of blood.
And the detective, he actually removed the seats. And when he did, he found a toe ring under one of the brackets, and the toe ring had a speck of blood on it.
Corey's family confirmed the ring belonged to her.
I knew at that point that we were onto something. There's just coincidence that that vehicle that he sold had her toe ring in it. There was no indication that he knew Corey, according to Tony's girlfriend.
The car's carpet was cut out and sent to the lab for testing. And what did the test results reveal?
The carpet from the vehicle tested positive for Corey Desmond's DNA.
Investigators now had enough evidence to obtain an arrest warrant, but they decided not to tip their cards.
We played his ego a little bit, and we told Tony Perez that he'd be helping the investigation tremendously if he came with investigators to the sheriff's headquarters.
Amazingly, he agreed to answer questions.
After several hours of speaking with Tony Perez, he finally began to admit that he had some more detailed knowledge about the murder of Corey Desmond.
Investigators listened intently as Perez described his evening after he left work as a restaurant chef.
What Tony said was that on Valentine's Day at his work, they had a dinner and everybody was there, and They had been drinking and everybody left. And when he left, he was coming home. He parked near his apartment and fell asleep.
After he had fallen asleep for what he believed to be several hours, he woke up, got out of his vehicle to go inside of his house, and looked down and saw a female lying under a streetlight on a sidewalk.
He told investigators the lifeless woman he found on the sidewalk was Corey Desmond.
Tony Perez claimed he walked up to the female and stuck his finger under the female's nose and did not feel any breath and realized the female may not be breathing.
So at that point he got scared and thought that people think that he hurt Corey. So he decided to put her in his vehicle.
He didn't call police because he was scared, and which is not a normal reaction.
Perez then left Corey in his car.
And he covered her. And he said that he went to his apartment and he went to sleep. And a few hours later he woke and he went down there and he looked in the car because he thought maybe he was having a bad dream. And lo and behold, there was a body in the car still.
Perez said he simply went back to sleep, and the next morning he drove to work.
While en route to work, he said he stopped at a grocery store and he bought some black trash bags.
During his break, he placed the garbage bags over Corey.
And then it was later that night he had decided I had been up to Big Bear before, so I'm going to go ahead and dump the body off of the highway.
So was there any part of his story that made sense to you?
When she was located, she had no shoes. Her pants were pulled down below her knees, open, and there was evidence of potential sexual assault. His story just simply is not believable. That's all there is to it.
Investigators had heard enough.
As soon as we concluded the interview with Tony Perez at Sheriff's Headquarters in San Bernardino, we placed him under arrest for the murder of Corey Desmond, and we booked him into the county jail.
During his trial, Tony Perez claimed Corey's murder had been a terrible accident, but the jury did not buy it. After a day of deliberations, he was found guilty of first-degree murder and sentenced to 25 years to life in prison for Corey Desmond's murder.
This was a young girl who was college educated, that was working as a bartender, who did nothing to cause her own death. This is the kind of thing that fathers worry about with their daughters, that mothers worry about with their daughters. And they tell you, be careful, walk with a friend. This is why.
This case was solved because of the constant media attention and a concerned citizen doing the right thing and calling police when she suspected her boyfriend. Corey and Tony Perez did not know each other, and initially, there was no physical evidence linking him to the crime. And now it is time for today's Safety Spotlight. Corey Desmond's case highlights the importance of maintaining vigilance and safety when going out, particularly late at night and in social settings where alcohol might be involved. Here are some practical safety measures to consider. Try not to go alone. Always stick with a trusted group of friends. Have someone accompany you to your car. Never walk alone. If something or someone feels off or makes you uncomfortable, trust your instincts and move to a safer location. It's better to err on the side of caution. Prioritizing your safety and staying alert are key to avoiding potential hazards and getting home safely. For all of us here at Crime Exposé, please join us next time and stay safe.